Thank God, another day of peace has begun. This is sunrise. And as you can see from the videos on my channel and pictures on Facebook, this is the consistent state where we live. I want to explain the difference between the place that's called Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, of the state of Israel, the political state, as opposed to the real Yerushalayim, which is this. Even though I live in a town on the map which is called Tzfat, thank God I am in fact living in Yerushalayim, and I'll explain what that means, please God. Sometimes the name of the city is spelled Yerushalayim in Torah, and sometimes it is spelled Yerushalayim, adding in another Yud, which adds in Hashem's name. Clearly now there are two Yudin and a Vav. Looking at Yerushalayim, we see Shalom in it, and what's added to Shalom is another Yud and another Resh, which makes it Chever Shalom, which means the society of peace. It makes it Dur Shalom, which would be where peace dwells. It's also Shalom Rachav or Rachov, which is the wide place of peace, or the street of peace. That is Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim, let's go back to Yerushalayim. The value of Yerushalayim is 1,146, which is the same thing as 147. Now Yerushalayim is equal to 1,156, which is the same thing as 157. And then it would be Shalom Tahor, which means pure peace. I'll write these substitution values in Hebrew in the description of the video, and so you can check the figures that I'm not trying to mess around with numbers. I'm not a statistician. So it becomes Shalom Tahor. Now 157 is also the value of the expression nekeva, the word nekeva, which means female. The value of Yerushalayim, 1,156, hello birdies, is also Kol Haaretz, which means the entire earth. When one becomes a resident of the real Yerushalayim, that is, that person is capable of creating peace within themselves, and then where they live reflects that peace. They see that there's a constant state of peace around them. That person has in fact conquered the whole world. and lives in the whole world and is given all of the powers of the whole world. Some people think that that means that it's a political thing where a person becomes politically in control of the whole land as some kind of a land grab, and that Jews want to take over everything. You can't take over everything until you can create peace. It's made so that you can't. So the ability to live in the whole world, to preside over the natural laws and the natural powers of the entire land, is given only to those who have reached the level of being able to create enduring peace, and those are the residents of Yerushalayim, which is pure peace. Resident in Hebrew is toshav, or yoshevet, toshevet. And in that we see Shabbat. So the people who are really keeping Shabbat, the people who know what the true Shabbat is, are Toshevei Yerushalayim. They are the residents of the true Yerushalayim, in which it is, and where it is always Shabbat. Every day in Yerushalayim is Shabbat. The value of the word Shabbat, 702, is equal to Ben, it is equal, which is son, it is equal to Berech, which is to bless, it is equal to Bat Mikol Dor, which is the daughter of from every generation. It's one of the things that the rabbis didn't bother explaining, because they preferred the male to the female. Their preference built-in imbalance in the creation, and Christianity made that even worse. Shabbat is equal to Kolel HaTorah, which is the entirety of Torah, everything that is contained in Torah. It is also Kolel Dorot, which is the entirety of the generations. Shabbat is above time. Shabbat is the entirety of the generations of all of those who found peace in themselves and can project that onto the creation. Is also Yom Kolel, which means the day that contains everything. And the way the rabbis keep Shabbat, and they know it, I mean, this is an acknowledged thing, is symbolic of the true Shabbat, which they don't know how to bring about, which is continuous Shabbat. So what they do is they give themselves what they call a taste of Shabbat, an idea of what the world to come is like, because they don't know how to create the world in which there is always peace. That is what the people who are called Toshevei Yerushalayim know how to do. Now Toshevei is Shabbat and another Yud and Vav, which is equal to 16, which is the same as 1015, which is Shalom Ad, which means peace forever, eternal peace. It is also Shabbat Mitgalem, which means Shabbat is embodied, Shabbat actually comes about. So Toshevei Yerushalayim, Toshevei, they themselves our Shabbat, and it's also, by the way, Shabbat Hoveh, which is Shabbat is present. Shabbat is present in the present. Yes. These are Toshvei Yerushalayim, those who are able to bring about the peace of all of the generations of those who make peace in the present, in one and the same present. And when you can do that, your world looks like this every day, even when the political Yerushalayim may be in turmoil, and there's a forest fire on the outside of it, and all kinds of upheavals and so forth and so on. If those kinds of upheavals exist in their city, they are not living in the true city of Yerushalayim, even if they have a fancy schmancy apartment in our house in one of the fancy schmancy neighborhoods in the political entity.